Hello everybody, and I wanted to make a video talking about suitable tank mates for shrimp, or what can I keep with my shrimp. So I've had people buy shrimp off me and then be like, I put them in with my beta and I just spent $50 feeding my beta. So one thing you need to keep in mind if you're wanting to keep shrimp with tank mates that are not going to eat them. Now let me mind you, there are different degrees of eating shrimp. So pretty much if it can fit in their mouth, they're gonna eat it. Any shrimp or any fish, except now in my experience, Bristlenose Plecos. Now these are still just Bristlenose Plecos, but these are a more desirable variety of them, and these are long fin green dragons, and you can see their spawns. They will throw short fins and long fins, and green dragons and albinos. You got albino long fin, green dragon long fin, green dragon short fin. There's a short fin one. There's some long fin ones. But the plecos, they are strictly Bristlenose Plecos. Can't stress that hard enough. Now, if you get a common pleco, great big ugly monster, or any kind of different kind of pleco, I think a lot of plecos are actually carnivorous, or they eat dead stuff. That's what a lot of them go by. So if they can eat, they eat meat. So if they can get it, they're probably going to get it. But Bristlenose Plecos, from what I've seen, are strictly vegetarian, and they will not even eat a dead shrimp. So look at that shrimp right there. Wow. These are my Bloody Mary shrimp. So keeping that in mind, I'll show you when I talk about varying degrees of being able to successfully keep shrimp. Look at this one. Wowzers. Anyway, when I talk about varying degrees, some of them are going to eat every shrimp they can get. So even adults are fair game. So like if you had a community tank and you had, say, like an angelfish or something, any kind of cichlid is going to, any kind of hunter fish that actively hunts is going to hunt these down. And even the big grown-ups are going to be a shrimp snack. So betas are no go. Basically, even tetras. Now, the smaller the tetra, the better success you'll have. Now, like a neon tetra isn't going to be able to fit something like that in its mouth, but it may try. A big one may try to eat something like that. And if you're trying, or something like this little feller on the snail shell, little tiny guys. So I can get a better shot of that. Little tiny fellers like that. Even a neon tetra is going to try to eat something like that. So you got to keep in mind. Now, I've kept them with guppies, and that is again varying degrees of success. Now, let me show you these guppies. Depending on the guppy line, now guppies and plecos and shrimp are what I know, so this is what I'm going to talk about mainly, and I can show you examples of. These are my full red guppies. These guys get great big. They're a boisterous guppy line. They eat their fry. So that's why I don't have a whole lot in there. But these guys will hunt down, attack, and kill shrimp. I haven't seen a shrimp in this tank in forever until just now. There is a shrimp. There are not many in here. And there are other reasons for that. Another reason why guppies and shrimp, I want to say, do not make good tank mates is because guppies are going to need medicated. Most likely on a regular basis. I mean, you might get lucky and go a long time without needing to medicate them, but more than likely your guppies are going to need to be medicated somewhat on a regular basis, and most of these medications are very, very bad on shrimp. So guppies and endlers, live bearers, they're really susceptible to stuff like parasites and bacterial diseases and stuff like that, and medications that at least most of them that I've tried are very hard on shrimp. So that's something else to keep in mind, and why I do not think live bearers like guppies and endlers make very good. I used to try it all the time. I used to do it all the time, and now guppy tanks are guppy tanks and shrimp tanks are shrimp tanks. Now I also had shrimp in here, and just a little, there's a few ones straggling around. This is mostly not because of being ate, but because of the guppy medications and the shrimp having a bad reaction. So this tank is mainly long fin lemon blue eyes and their little babies. That ain't all long fins, but some of them are. So that's cool. See, there's not many shrimp left in here, and that's because the medications that the guppies require have wiped out the shrimp populations, and the babies have been ate. So it's hard for them to breed, and a little bit of breeding that does happen, the little babies get ate. So that's the problem we run into there. So just keep that in mind. It's not just the getting ate thing to worry about. It's, am I going to have to medicate this kind of fish? Now some fish hardly need medicated, but little fish like rasboras are going, the smaller the better. The smaller the mouth the better. Unless you have a fish that is strictly a vegetarian like the Bristlenose Plecos that I've found to be the case in my experience. These are my blue dreams, and as you can see, Plecos. So Plecos, Bristlenose Plecos, I would say, in my experience, are 100% shrimp safe. Now if you start breeding a whole bunch of Plecos, then you run into other problems like water changes. Plecos need huge water changes all the time, and shrimp prefer small water changes. So that's another thing to consider when you're trying to figure out what to keep with your shrimp. Now, even stuff like rasboras and little fish, they're still going to be able to get at the littlest of the baby shrimp. Now I don't see any right here, but if I zoom in, you can see there's lots of little guys in there. So it's not going to take a very big fish. Now, let's see. Here's a little tiny fella swimming up the seam of the glass there. There he is. It's not going to take a fish very big to eat a shrimp that size. Where is he? There's a little guy. But as you can see, baby shrimp are really little. I guess that goes without saying. So if it can fit in its mouth, it's going to eat it. The only exception to that I have personally found are the Bristlenose Plecos, and they're strict vegetarian eaters, and they eat the, oh, I can't think of the word right now. They just eat the detritus, the algae, stuff like that. That is what they're after. So, if you want to do a shrimp tank, I suggest, my suggestion, ooh, there's a lot of little babes. I didn't know there's that many in here. They're big enough now they're not always hiding. No. Here I am getting on a tangent again. However, sorry, I got sidetracked on what I was thinking, but what I would suggest for a shrimp tank, from my experiences, is you need to just dedicate a tank for shrimp. Now, if you do, ooh, there's a really Bloody Mary. I'm gonna have to get that guy out. That's kind of cool. Never seen one of them in here before. A Bloody Mary, really? Interesting. I would suggest to dedicate a tank just for shrimp. Now, a lot of my tanks, I still have some tanks like that where I just have the one pleco. I'm not trying to breed plecos, because if you get a lot of plecos, then you're talking about a lot of water changes. So we're sticking with a tank, with some tanks, this tank obviously, but you need extra filtration, extra water changes. But ideally, to make things easy and to have your best chance of success and to enjoy the tank, I would suggest sticking to just shrimp. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that, but those are you're gonna have your best chances at successfully having a shrimp colony. And even better yet, if you want to get some guppies here and there, put your shrimp in there, let them get established and fully breeding colony going, and then maybe put some guppies in there. But remember, if you ever have to treat those guppies, it's not really that good of a situation, because guppies aren't going to like whatever treatment, or the shrimp are not going to like the guppy meds. That's for sure. Shrimp, the key to shrimp is stable consistency, never changing, always the same, and time. That's all you need to breed shrimp. Well, good enough water without any toxins in it. But this is what we're talking about here. Tank mates for shrimp. What can I keep with my shrimp? And I am suggesting to keep in mind, I know, I realize not everyone has 20-some tanks in their house like I do. And most people just have one tank and they want to keep a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, some shrimp would look cool in there too. Well, that can work, but it makes things with shrimp really, really tricky. So your best bet, my suggestion, I'm back to that again, is let your shrimp do their thing, and you can keep, in some tanks I keep one Bristlenose Pleco. I'm not trying to breed them. I'm using them as utilitarian, and you know, they add another little feature to the tank and another critter to look at and to enjoy. But just shrimp, and if you need something else, Bristlenose Pleco, not just a common Pleco that you find in all the pet stores have, but you need a Bristlenose Pleco. There's a short fin. Anyway, so that's my talk on what can I keep with my shrimp. And there's like varying degrees of success. The smaller the fish, the better you're gonna have. Like I explained, my big guppies, they're gonna hunt and kill even adult shrimp. Smaller guppy lines, like these here are Japan blues. And we even have endlers. They do even better than guppies because they're smaller, but I've had tanks with hundreds and hundreds of shrimp and hundreds of these guys. I took out all the endlers and put them in here, and my shrimp population literally exploded within a matter of a month. So these, even the endlers, the big fat mama endlers, eat baby shrimp like crazy. I've seen it firsthand. Too many times to count. So keep that in mind. The smaller, you'll have varying degrees of success. The only 100% safe thing that I found is Bristlenose Plecos. But if you gotta keep fish with Plecos, you need something that's not an active hunter and something that's really, really, really little. The smaller the mouth, the smaller the thing that can be stuffed in there. So always keep that in mind. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.